Well, good morning, and welcome to First Unitarian Church. Welcome to our traditional service of lessons and carols. We need Christmas this year, as we always seem to. We need reminding that though this feels like a season of bleakness, it is also a season of hope. Our nation has declared war upon itself. We are warring against brown people at the border. We are at war with science. We are at war with democracy. It will take great faith on our part, great faith to believe once again in justice and love, and in the grace to place the need of others above our own. We have entered a season in which only the faithful can hear the spirit of love and justice, where only the faithful can speak honestly of hope, joy, and the golden opportunities for change. Oh, come, O ye faithful, let us accept kindness with humility. Let us heal the wounds of misunderstanding. Let the more gentle air of the Christmas spirit touch our lives. And may the gracious spirit of that little child born in Bethlehem more than 2,000 years ago, may the spirit of that child find its way into our hearts today, this Christmas, this season, moving our spirits from bleakness to hope. Symbol of light and of knowledge, symbol of warmth and freedom. We light this chalice as a symbol of our faith. Here we gather to celebrate hope and the infinite possibilities of love. May we open our service of lessons and carols with our first carol, by turning our hymn books, please, to number 253.
To say this is a busy season is a gross understatement. It seems like the to-do lists are never longer than at this time of year. Things to buy, things to bake, cards to write, and people to call. And we're supposed to take a break every once in a while and rest, and somehow we're also supposed to have fun. So with all that going on, it can be hard to fit in time to remember the real reason for the season. Revolution. That's right. The secret that Starbucks and Macy's and Santa Claus and the White House want you to forget is that for at least two of the world's major religions, this weekend's holy days are not about buying stuff. Rather, they are all about turning the world around. On this fourth Sunday of Advent, Christians around the world focus on the virtue of peace as they celebrate the coming of a person who teaches us how to overthrow empire. And our Jewish friends will light the first candle of Hanukkah tonight, beginning 8 days of remembering that survival is a sacred duty and resistance is a sacred act. So let's spend a few moments of this special day holding the tension of peace and resistance in our minds and sending thoughts of goodwill and justice to those who are suffering today. God of justice, send your peace to all those who suffer oppression. May their chains be broken. Send your peace to those whose lives are disrupted by armed conflict, especially all refugees and prisoners of war. May they be comforted. Send your peace to those who are incarcerated, who have been disposed of by society. Their lives are meaningful and full of promise. May they be freed, and may we all be freed from the bonds of the carceral state. Send your peace to all who migrate, whether to escape a life of poverty or violence, or to bring their families back together, or for any reason at all. May their paths be smooth and straight, and may they find the home they're seeking, if only in their hearts. Send your peace to those who are resisting corruption in government, here and around the world. May they find courage and strength to rise up for what is right. Send your peace to those who are caught in the gears of perpetual inequality, making more stuff and cheaper stuff. May we find the courage to do with less so that they may have more. Send your peace also to those who have chosen to buy less, to do less, to say less, those who have chosen quiet and simplicity in this season, for they have found a powerful way to resist. Send us all your peace. Remind us during this season of running and acquiring and accumulating. Remind us of who we really are. People who are seeking truth. People who love mercy. People who desire justice. Amen.
lost it telling, yonder peasant, who is he, where and what is dwelling?
Silent from goodly as he beneath the mountain, right against the forest fence, sparkling as fountain.
Bring me flesh and bring me wine, bring me pine logs hither, thou and I will see and dine when we bear them thither.
Page and monarch, forth they went together, through the ruins of lament and the bitter weather. Silent night is dark, the wind blows stronger, fails my heart, I know not how, I know no longer.
Mark my footsteps, good my page, tread thou in them boldly. Thou shalt find the winter's range, freeze thy bloodless coldly.
In his master's steps he trod, where the snow lay tinted, each was in the very sod which the saint had printed. Therefore, Christian men, be sure, wealth or rent possessing, ye who now will bless the poor, shall yourself find blessing.
Our first lesson for today begins by asking, do you have a favorite story of Christmas magic? When I was a kid, I heard stories of flying reindeer and elves who made toys and lived at the North Pole. I heard that on Christmas Eve at midnight, animals could talk. I heard about nutcrackers that came to life. I heard so many of these magical stories when I was little that I started to wonder why magic never happened to me. All of us secretly wait for a glimpse of Christmas magic. There are those who suffer heartbreak, poor health, grief, loss of health care, loss of food stamps, separation from family. So you wonder, does magic have a recipe? Is there a formula we could apply as though an alchemist in a laboratory stirring concoctions that when the temperature was just right and the ingredients well blended, a needed dose of magic would appear? Who knows? My favorite poet for children of all ages, Shel Silverstein, gives us a clue, I think, to where we might find magic. He writes, Sandra's seen a leprechaun, Eddie touched a troll, Laurie danced with witches once, Charlie found some goblin's gold. Donald heard a mermaid sing. Susie spied an elf. But all the magic I have known, I've had to make myself. Maybe we could find Christmas magic all around us if we knew just where to look. When you hear on the news that communities have rallied to raise several tons of food for a food drive, or when you hear the heroic things people do to make sure that children from undocumented families across town have a gift to open on Christmas morning, that must be magic. When people smile at each other on the street for no good reason, that's magic. When people in a church community offer sanctuary to a family caught in the crosshairs of unjust immigration laws, that's magic. When diverse people come together to protest the indignities suffered by the least in society, that's magic. When new refugee families arrive and walk into a furnished apartment where every child has a bed, that's magic. I know there is magic at Christmas time. Now, sometimes it can be very difficult to find magic on Christmas amidst the bustle and busyness and wishes that don't come true. Sometimes, no matter how carefully we plan, things aren't the way we'd like them to be. Sometimes the magic we make takes a long time to show itself, or looks different than we thought it would. But I keep looking. Always keep looking, because magic could be waiting in the smell of warm cookies baked for sharing. Magic can be found in the kind and loving gesture. Certain magic can be found on a starry night. I bet you do have a story of Christmas magic. Hold it close to your heart. Time for a carol. Let's turn our hymn books to number 237.
It is Christmas Eve in 1989 in Timișoara, and the ice is still dirty from the boots of the Romanian Revolution. The dictator Nicolae Ceausescu has been deposed a few days before, and on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, he would be executed by firing squad. I am in the center of the city with my friends, empty now of the crowds that prayed outside the cathedral during the worst of the fighting. My friends and I still hear shots here and there. Our cold hands are gray like the sky above us, and we want to see a movie. There is a rumor that there will be oranges for sale tonight. Hundreds of people are already waiting in line. We were used to such lines under the former communist government, lines for bread, lines for meat, lines for everything. Families would wait much of the day for rationed items. As children, we would take turns for an hour or more holding our family's place in line. But this line is different. There are children in Romania who don't know what an orange looks like. It is a special treat. Having the chance to eat a single orange will keep a child happy for a week. It will also make him a hero in the eyes of his friends. For the first time, someone is selling oranges by the kilo. Suddenly, I want to do something important. I want to give my brother a big surprise. He is only 8 years old, and I want him to celebrate Christmas with lots of oranges at the table. I also want my parents to be proud of me. So I call home, and I tell my parents that I'm going to be late. I forget about going to the movie, leave my friends, and join the line. People aren't silent, upset, frustrated, as they were before the revolution. They are talking to one another about life, politics, and the new situation in the country. The oranges are sold out of the back doorway of a food shop. The clerk has gone from anonymity to unexpected importance. As he handles the oranges, he acts like a movie star in front of his fans. He moves his arms in an exaggerated manner as he tells the other workers where to go and what to do. All I can do is stare at the stack of cardboard boxes piled higher than me. I have never seen so many oranges in all my life. Finally, it is my turn. It is 8 o'clock, and I have been waiting for 6 hours. It doesn't seem like a long time because my mind has been flying from the oranges in front of me to my brother and then back to the oranges. I hand over the money I was going to spend on the movie and watch each orange being thrown into my bag. I try to count them, but I lose their number. I am drunk with the idea of oranges. I put the bag inside my coat as if I want to absorb their warmth. They aren't heavy at all, and I feel that this is going to be the best Christmas of my life. I begin thinking of how I am going to present my gift. I get home and my father opens the door. He is amazed when he sees the oranges, and we decide to hide them until after dinner. At dessert that night, I give my brother the present. Everyone is silent. They can't believe it. My brother doesn't touch them. He is afraid even to look at them. Maybe they aren't real. Maybe they are an illusion, like everything else these days. We have to tell him he can eat them before he has the courage to touch one of the oranges. I stare at my brother eating the oranges. They are my oranges. My parents are proud of me.
Yeah, hey, back at you. You were wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. What a special Sunday this is. You know, David playing those doodads right before the last verse. You know, love is choir and their descant sends chills up your spine, and the congregation, amazing. Not known for its robust singing. Not only burst forth on this Sunday, but they do so in Latin. I think that might be the answer. I think all our hymns from here on will be in Latin. That'll get them singing. It'll be wonderful. Oh, it's special. And even the floral arrangement twinkles on this Sunday. I'd like to thank Ken Krause and Julie Miller for providing the floral arrangement. And the poinsettias are here thanks to Paula Julander. And that, these decorations, you may think them simple, but they're so important. They're just filling the space with warmth and kindness and generosity. So it's wonderful to be here this morning. We have another wonderful opportunity to come together, and that will be on Tuesday night. It's coming Tuesday. It'll be our Christmas Eve candlelight service. We have one service at 5:30 and the other service at 7. And every year I put out a call for ushers. We need ushers not just to, hand out the programs and greet people and wish them you know, Noel, A, and all that kind of stuff, but also to light the candles. And an interesting thing happened. The people was lining up to serve as ushers for the 5:30 service. Nobody had signed up for the 7 o'clock service. So I'm going to ask you to think this over. Please consider carefully about coming to the 7 o'clock service on Christmas Eve, this Tuesday, and to be a candlelighter and an usher. And I'm going to ask you to please come at 6:30 so we can just go over a few things. And yeah, otherwise, you know, I'd hate to do a self-service Christmas Eve kind of thing where you light your own candle. That's not much fun. So I hope some ushers, that usher inside of you that's been waiting to come out, let me know right after the service on your way to coffee hour. The offering will now gratefully be received, a chance to greet each other and bid each other a fine Noel. Our final lesson this morning begins with the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 2, verse 1, and then jumps to the verses 9 through 11. Kind of sets the stage, and then we get to the point of it all in our contemporary lives. But let's start with a bit of scripture to help us get focused. The Christmas gift. Now, when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, "Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and are come to worship him." And lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them till it came and stood over where the young child was. And when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary, his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. What a journey they must have made. You know what it's like to make a journey, a long journey. You and the whole family bundle into the minivan. You try to pack everything you need, but you are sure to forget something. You hope there'll be a good warm food when you are hungry. You hope for a patch of grass to walk the dog. But you don't know when you travel into unfamiliar lands what exactly you will find. Now, a journey like this takes planning. It takes money. It takes time. It takes patience. If you were going to see a special child, a cousin, or a nephew, or a niece who had just been born, you might even call this a pilgrimage. Driving day after day across the country to see this new life. That would be challenging. Depending on where you start out, you might see the great dry expanses of the prairie or the snow-capped mountains of the Sierra Nevada. You might learn a secret joke with your sister that your parents would never understand. You might eat in a great new restaurant, or you might have to eat the last of the granola bars you packed for those long desert stretches. Now, you're traveling all this way to meet a newborn child, as if there were something important about being there to witness the moment. You are traveling all this way to show your love for the child, this child who will be part of your family, your people, whom you hope will be in this world after you are gone. You will offer the child the special toy you picked out at the educational toy store, or the savings bond you hope she will use one day when she's ready to make her mark on the world. But the most important gift is the journey. That you traveled so many miles to see her is the story the family will tell all her life. The journey will change you as well. You will know something about yourself. You will know something about your traveling companions. You will know something about the world. You will know a being who has never been before. And so, the journey will also be a gift to yourself. So be it. Our closing carol for this morning, number 225. As we extinguish the chalice, may our hearts be truly thankful for the season which reminds us of the kindness and compassion of which we are capable. Thankful for the mystery of myth and legend, and for the gift of imagination. Thank you for the music that lifts our weary spirits, and for the hope that never dies as long as new life enters this world.